All right. Happy Friday. Beautiful people. Good to see you. Big waves to you. Big waves to you. So, again, let us know where you're tuning in from in the comments, in the chats. Um, and our word for today is mindfulness. Mindfulness. And, Coach, I believe
Maureen.
it was Maureen. Yeah,
Yeah.
Maureen did the mindfulness. And so I'll tell you, every word means something to me, but I want to be honest on mindfulness. Sometimes, and I don't know if you can relate or not, but I'm just going to put myself out there. Sometimes I really need this word in my life
Mhm.
because how many of you feel like life's hectic, man? There's a lot
Yeah.
going on. There's a lot of moving parts, and it's so easy not to what I call stop and smell the roses some days, and or stop and just be mindful of things. You run through this life with sometimes like your eyes are closed. You just don't have time to stop. But this word was great. The quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. And I first thought about Independence Day coming up, 4th of July. And eh, that day I probably listened to Lee Greenwood and you know the song that we all know that live in the United States. I listened to it during the day, all that day, many times, and really think. And it's a day that I stop and I'm mindful of the blessings we have in this country and for our independence. And I thought about that and I thought, but I don't go through every day that way. And wouldn't it be cool if I could go through? I feel so good on the 4th of July to take that day and say, you know what, I'm just going to be mindful of all these opportunities I've been given for people that have fought for our freedom and fought for independence. And I feel so good on that day. But I could really feel good each and every day and be mindful if I just practice some principles. And that's where I want to go this morning. Mindfulness is a way of being present, paying attention to, and accepting what is happening in our lives. It helps us to be aware of and step away from our automatic and habitual reactions to our everyday experience. In saying that, it makes us slow down a little bit. And so I thought, okay, I'm looking for some steps to be more mindful, Brent Palmer, in his life. Number one, take time to to meditate. And how many of you truly meditate? I mean, raise your hand or maybe in the comments, like meditate. I'm talking about get somewhere for 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, and just be in silence with yourself. I've got to be honest. I try to do it, but it happens very little for me. Um, Number two, start by making one habit a mindful habit. And where I went is because our mind wanders in 1,000 directions. What if it was just when I'm out walking the dog? I'm going to be mindful during that moment. Or maybe it's when I'm brushing my teeth. I have to do that every day, hopefully. And so, what could I do? Dr. Bob's giving me a thumbs up. What could I do to be super mindful during that process? Because normally I'm brushing my teeth. I'm trying to talk to somebody on the phone. I'm sure that's really enjoyable for the person that I'm talking to. I'm trying to do 1,000 things. Number three, focus on engaging one of my senses. How many of you is your sense sound? Like what I mean by senses, let me see if I can put it in perspective. And what makes you slow down? Is it sound around you? Is it smell? Like if you were to walk out in the garden, would you notice the beauty and the birds chirping and the sounds, or would you smell the flowers? Right? Sometimes it's sound for some people. Sometimes it's smell for some people. But focus on engaging in the senses. I got to brag. I mean, Andrea does it. She tells me about it. Like every morning goes out and she listens to the birds chirp, and it probably calms you down and it slows you down to take in. And I go, you know what? I don't do that enough. Just being honest. It would help me be more mindful. And then the last one is set aside time for conscious breathing. Studies show that conscious breathing will release tension in your mind and your body. And again, that's something I can do every day. So thank you for the word for today, Coach. I'll kind of turn it to you on this.
Okay, thanks, Coach Palmer. First of all, I don't see John on this morning, but I wanted to say happy birthday to Lauren Frick today. So make sure
All
she
right.
knows
Happy birthday, Lauren.
Happy birthday to her. And thank you, Maureen, for the word of mindfulness. And like Coach Palmer said, if somebody would have asked me prior to us working on this word, Myra, what's mindfulness? I'm not so sure that I could have given a really good answer. So thank you for the word. So mindfulness means maintaining a moment by moment awareness of our thoughts, our feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. When we practice mindfulness, our thoughts tune in to what we're seeing, sensing in the present moment, rather than rehashing the past or imagining the future. To summarize, mindfulness is the awareness that arises through paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. It sounds pretty simple, but actually, when we start paying attention to how much we pay attention, half of the time, our minds, guess what, are all over the place. And we have a very tough time staying focused. Maybe you don't struggle like that, but when I read that statement, pay attention to how much you're paying attention. I got 90 thoughts already going in my head. This is actually me in a nutshell. You've heard the saying, just took off chasing a squirrel. I can be in a conversation and all of a sudden my train of thought went. So obviously I'm not in a mindful moment. So what can we do to become more mindful every day? What can we do to stay calm, centered, and attentive to the moment that we're presently in? Here's a few suggestions. Take daily walks. Okay. Walking is a great way to calm our minds and to gain perspectives on so many things. Like Coach said, pay attention to even the smells and the quietness. Walking is a perfect opportunity for that. Turn all of your tasks. Another thing is turn all of our tasks into mindful moments. Mindfulness isn't just the few minutes we use every morning to get our mind focused by reading, by praying, by meditating. We need to incorporate this into every single thing that we do. Remember that mindfulness means to be present in the moment. And I always refer back to Dr. Elko. He always says, be where your feet are. You just can't say it any better than that. So if we can be mindful while we're sitting down, then why can't we do it when we're doing everything else? A mindful person knows when to not check their phones. Okay. What parameters do you put on yourself every day when it comes to your phone? When you're with family, put the doggone phone away. I just recently had a friend tell me that he had to set more parameters about his phone use. And I said, well, Tony, why? And this broke my heart when he said this. And I quote, I recently realized that I stopped looking in my children's eyes, and that shock spoke volumes to me. How many of us have done that with children, friends, family members, or whatever? That kind of really pulled the rug out from under me on that. That's powerful. Another way is just get outside. Don't just go walk 30 or 45 minutes and then go inside for the rest of the day. Make it a point to be outside. Do some phone calls outside. Do some work outside. It's also a great opportunity to get that vitamin D that we need so badly in our bodies. You know, and then the last thing I want to say is, if we're going to practice mindfulness, we can't take ourselves too seriously. As Ariana Huffington once said, angels fly because they take themselves lightly. You know, we can't get carried away by the constant tug of our emotions. Just always remember to laugh. So let's just work on being more mindful. I know I will. It was a very great word for me. So thanks again. So anyway, have a great weekend. Happy 4th. Let's celebrate America and us being proud to be Americans, like the song Lee Greenwood sings that Brent talked about. So I love you guys. Look forward to seeing you Monday.
Coach, thank you for the message. And I got a thing for Monday. Okay. So we're going to go through the weekend. And no matter, we have people that come on here from Canada and all over the world, Africa and different places, Mexico. Let's use the word independence for Monday. What does independence mean for you? And maybe dress in some colors that you feel represent independence for you. And we'll see you back here on Monday, okay? To enjoy a lesson together. So love you guys. Grateful for you. Coach Myra, thank you for always serving and being here.
Blessing.
Have a great weekend. Love you guys.
Happy 4th of July.